Okay, please introduce yourself, state your name and DOC number for the record.
Good morning. My name is Parish A Norris. My DOC number is 411276.
Paris, my name is Brennan Kelsey. Along with me is Ms. Bonnie Jackson and Mr. Tony Marabella will be your panel. We'll ask you some questions. You can respond. At the end, you can make a state, take a vote. Do you understand the process?
Okay. No problem, sir.
And then we do have some guests that will speak at the appropriate time.
Okay.
Yi Hong Lin and Robert Kelso speak at the appropriate time. We also have Corey Richardson, Byron Parker, Sonia Hill, Warren Snoot, and Hayward Jones who will speak at the appropriate time. Let's see here. And we also have Antoinette Norris, Raquel Norris, Parish Norris Jr. And we'll all, like I said, we have three that'll speak each side. Parish Norris, DOC number 411276. You're a fourth class offender. Parole eligibility date 8/9/2020. Good time date 12/14/2030. Full term date 11/9/2031 of a 15-year sentence. Let's see. Let's pass that. Racketeering. Habitual offender, legal possession of stolen things. Does that sound correct?
Yes, sir.
Would you answer Mr. Marabella's questions, please?
Good morning, Mr. Norris. My name is Tony Marabella. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Norris, how old are you, sir?
48.
How long have you been in prison on these charges?
So 7 years, sir.
And you've been in prison previously?
No, sir.
It's the first time you've ever been in prison?
No, I've been for 2011 and 10.
How much time have you served altogether in prison?
It would be close to like 10 years, close to like 19 years.
Tell me a little bit about your educational background. How much education do you have?
I was all the way to 12th grade, and I had applied online for my GED, and I did my GED online.
You got your GED?
Yes, I have my certificate here. It was in belt in the class. I had got it. Just
What kind of work did you do on the outside?
what kind of work I was doing? Mechanic work and body and fender work.
So you've always been in sort of the automotive business.
Yes, sir.
Who did you work for? Did you have your own place or what?
I had my own place at the time.
So tell me about your crimes. I mean, I'm looking at your history. Your history basically encompasses theft involving cars and such. So
Yes.
tell me how you got involved in all of this and why you continued to commit these crimes.
Okay, it was mostly like hanging around the wrong people, the wrong crowds, and everything else, and having the wrong people around me. Picked out the wrong people I was hanging around with.
So these people forced you to get arrested all of these times and commit all of these thefts and possess
No.
all of these stolen things? Don't tell
No.
me that. Come on.
No, it was a bad choice I
I'm
made.
here to try to convince me that you've been in prison and you've rehabilitated. So don't be sitting here blaming everybody else for what you've done. I'm trying to find out who you were, why you did what you did, and how you changed.
Okay,
So don't tell me all these other people forced you to do all these other things.
no,
So
sir.
you tell me why you committed all of these crimes before you came to prison. And then we'll talk about who you are today.
Okay, sir. And for myself, I was being selfish and in denial with myself and picking on just doing the wrong things, making the wrong choices. And at the end of the day, I hurt a lot of people around me. And I heard it also, not only a lot of people around my loved ones and the community and the people, even the victims. So
Were drugs or alcohol involved in any of this?
No, sir.
You ever do drugs?
No, on prescription drugs.
Okay. How about drinking?
Drinking, I'm not too much of a drinker.
So when did you start getting into the business of of chopping up cars, selling them, stealing them, and doing what you?
It was more like fast money, and I was thinking about fast money at the time. Every time around was fast money. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't trying to hurt nobody, but I hurt a lot of people. You know, that was just the thing, the people I was around. You know, that's all we knew.
Well, why didn't you do it legitimately? I mean, you apparently you've got a skill, you've got a trade. People make good money fixing cars, mechanic work, doing those kinds of things. Why did you? I mean, it looks like you've been doing this since let me see when your first arrest was, 1996, possession of stolen things, 1997, 1998, 2001. I mean, you've been doing this for 30 years.
Yes, sir. I changed with my kids, and I just
Children at 6,
yes, sir.
and how old are your children?
My children are 20, 22, 21, 18, 17, 13, and 14.
So tell me how you've changed. Why should I why should I vote to release you early with your history and what you've done in the past and the harm that you've caused to many people?
True. I just took some self classes, thinking of a change. I took also Celebrate Recovery.
Okay, tell me what you've learned in those classes.
What I learned from them, meaning that mistakes I made, and also the things that people that I hurt more than anything. I was being more selfish on my end, and the people that I hurt, and the change that I have, I look at different ways. Like I had a write up, my disciplinary. I had a write up for a fight, and I could have avoided instead of me laying up there, just start thinking, using my head, and just stay away from the wrong people. Start worrying about myself.
What do you think the most important lesson you've learned while you've been in prison?
The most important thing, get up and secure me a job, a legal job, instead of laying up there worrying about myself. And that's basically one. And the other reason that I feel kind of I'm hurt. Not only me, but I'm hurt in many ways for other people that I make a big change. I gotta make a difference for the community. I gotta make sure that ain't the right way.
You've taken victim awareness. Tell me what you've learned in victim awareness. What would you say to the victims if you had an opportunity to say something to them?
Well, the victims, I apologize that I'm sorry, and I regret and remorse that I hurted them. And at the end of the day, whatever I could do, I could try to support them and help them in many ways I can. If I have another chance to help them.
Do you have any money to reimburse them for the losses that they've received?
No, sir.
Have you made any efforts? Did you ever make any efforts to try to reimburse them, to help them get some of the things they recovered that they lost?
If I can,
No. Did you in the past, when you were arrested, did you make any efforts or any attempts to help them get back some of their
belongings.
things they lost?
Yes, I tried to. Really, basically, I tried to notify the people at the courts to find out who it was, but they never let me know.
Now, you took Living in Balance and Celebrate Recovery. Those are good programs, primarily aimed at substance abuse. Why did you take those programs? And what did you learn in those programs?
I learned that you learn that how can I say you fault your habits, and you take yourself as you got an understanding that the responsibility that I'm kind of nervous, sir, but trying to refresh my memory on it because it's been.
Mr. Norris, let me just say this. I'm not asking you questions for you to repeat things that you memorized while you were in these programs. I want you to tell me from your heart what you learned in any of these programs that helped you. Living in Balance and Celebrate Recovery are primarily courses that assist people who have substance abuse issues. You tell me that isn't an issue with you. So why did you take those particular programs?
I took them so I could rehabilitate myself, so I could help myself find out who I really am. So I could
And
find
what did you find out?
I found out that I was really a bad person, selfish. And so now, since as I learned that, it's starting to open up and learn that, you know what I'm saying, it ain't got to be that way.
Yeah. Well, it started this conversation by you telling me hanging with the wrong people. Now I'm hearing a little bit of insight, which I really hoped I would hear earlier, is that deep down you realized you were selfish, you were stealing from people. So what other things have you gained insight from? What other programs have you been able to gain some insight into the real harm you have caused a lot of other people?
Also, to help to give back to my community, meaning like I go speak and try to help others so they don't make the mistakes I made. And, you know, try to push forward so I can have the youths and my community embracing them that you don't have to be out there doing what I used to do since I've changed, you know, and push it harder. You know what I'm saying? Find some ways to help other people. They don't have to go through what I had to go through.
Are you in any clubs or programs? Are you a member of Pride?
Yes, I never signed up for Pride because I was in a trustee. I thought I was supposed to be in Pride, but it's the board said I was supposed to be in Pride. Supposed to be in Pride. I've been up here a year and 18 months, something like close like almost 2 years. And he told me you're supposed to be in Pride. And I never filled out the paper. That was the other day. I never filled out the paper to be on Pride.
But you're not in it. You could be in it, but you're not.
Yes, sir.
Are you in Toastmasters or any other clubs like that?
No, I'm not in none of them clubs. I work for the warehouse. That's what I was doing. I'm a trustee. I was working in the warehouse. I was first I was on crew 3 picking up trash and everything else. Then I went to the warehouse. I have a whole lot of responsibilities, everything else, and passing packages and delivering all kind of things for the compound.
You were in pre-release. Did you ever finish that?
Yes, sir. Finished it last week.
Okay, so you've completed that program. Gordon, what can you tell us about Mr. Norris?
So Parish has been here since July 2021. Shortly after that, he was made a trustee, a level 2 trustee. He does work very hard and has a lot of responsibility in the warehouse. I know that Parish is a hard worker and he is eager to do any job that's given to him. I know with our arts and crafts show that we just had, he was out there helping from sun up to sundown. He hasn't been in any trouble here, hasn't had any write-ups. He's participated in a lot of classes, CCRP classes, and numerous Bible study classes.
Mr. Norris, what would be your plan if you were released early? Where would you live?
Where I live, I'll be living with my mother, 7920 Memorial Court, New Orleans, Louisiana, 70128. And
What kind of work would you do?
the type of work I'll be doing, driving trucks. So I do my CDL, drive trucks. So I can go in and still be on the highway.
Just in about 30 seconds, tell me why I should vote to release you, looking at your history and your record and what all you've done.
Basically, I feel as though that I had learned my lesson. You know, I've never been down this long in prison at all. and that I support my family and support others that need some support and help the ones that I hurt that supported me.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Yeah.
Yeah, could you answer Miss Jackson's question, please?
Good morning, Mr. Norris. My name is Bonnie Jackson, and I'd like to talk to you about a couple of things, okay?
Okay.
First, who is Antoinette Norris?
That's my mother.
And your mother made a statement in the pre-roll investigation. They interviewed her as well as the victims to try to get an accurate picture. But your mom thinks you're innocent. Why does your mom think you're innocent?
Because at the time I wasn't telling her what I was doing. I was lying and lying to her and telling her, nah, I was lying at that time. I was telling her,
When did you stop lying to her? Because, as of last year, when this report was done, she was still saying that you didn't know the co-defendants in the case. You were working on a garbage truck, but also working on cars, but you were just fixing cars for people that you knew.
Yes.
So when did you stop lying to your mom, or is today the first time you stopped lying to your mom?
no, I stopped. So I told her the truth after all it went down, and she didn't know. She was still thinking, but it was like I didn't have no remorse. I didn't care at that time.
My thing is, like I said, I'm looking at her most recent statement, which was just in December of last year, a few months ago. And she's still under the impression that, you were just working on cars of people that you knew, and, you didn't even know your co-defendants. So basically, you've misled your mom for almost 7 years. She's thinking you're wrongfully convicted of something that you do. And I think that's pretty cool. Have your mom thinking that her innocent son is in jail, when in fact you are guilty of everything that you're serving time for. And that concerns me. It really does. Another thing I'd like to just have you think about. Suppose you are a person and you have a vehicle, and you still owe some money on that vehicle, and that vehicle is your only means of transportation to get to work, to get to the grocery store, to do whatever you need to do. That's your only means of transportation. And because you don't have a lot of money, the only insurance you have on your vehicle is liability. So that when somebody steals your vehicle and chops it up, you're left with no vehicle, no insurance to get another vehicle, and you still owe money on that vehicle that you no longer have. How do you think that person feels about someone who would just take their vehicle and chop it up for parts?
Feel hurt. Feel very hurt. Very disappointed within that.
Not more than just hurt. Their whole life has been turned upside down. They can't get to work. They can't get to the places they need to go. They don't have any money to get another car, and they still are paying for the car that got stolen and chopped up. See, I just don't get the sense that you understand the magnitude of what you've done to people's lives. You act like, well, I'm remorseful, but I don't think you get it. When you take somebody's vehicle, in a lot of instances, you have taken their livelihood and everything else. Now, one of the people whose vehicle you were involved in the theft of was a disabled veteran who was in the hospital or at a doctor's appointment when he came out and his vehicle was stolen. And that person had plates on their car, acknowledging as a disabled veteran. And yet somebody took his car. Unfortunately, it was recovered, but some things have been stripped off of it. And I just don't get the sense that you truly understand the magnitude of harm that you cause people when you steal their transportation. So what do you want to say about that?
Yeah, basically hurt. I turned their life upside down. And I take all the actions that was then. That was me then. It's new me now. You know, so I'm not trying. I'm giving you my word, and I make promise. I'm not the same person at that time. I didn't have no remorse. Now I too got that in my heart, my mindset, goal set. No more of that.
I thank you, Mr. Norris. I appreciate you answering my question.
Thank you.
All right, now we'll have a brief statement from Corey Richardson.
Yes.
Make a statement. Corey Richardson, make a brief statement.
Yes.
You gotta turn your mute off.
Can you hear me now? Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
I like to say, I'm listening to what's going on for a long time. I can honestly say that some of the things that happened here, I did not know of, he had done. However, I can say that the times I have worked with him, I own a motorcycle repair shop, and I personally know that this guy, has some good in him. I've seen the good in him, and if I may say so, I'd like to, if he is released, I build motorcycles and I sell the motorcycles, and I do things with the community with the money that I get from the motorcycle. I'm a pillar of my community. I've been a pillar of my community for over 20 years. I've been in business. I've always done things to help my community. And I would like to bring him into a program that I'm starting now to help young males get involved in mechanic work, especially motorcycles. And that seems to have taken the wave that it's on right now. And to give these guys a direction of something different than just being, in a community doing negative things. So if he's released, I'd like to take him under my wing if I can, as well as, get him into church and keep him out of the midst of the bad people that he has been around.
All right, thank you. Thank you for your comment. Now we'll hear a brief statement from Ms. Sonia Hill. Is Ms. Sonia Hill here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, go ahead and make a brief statement.
This is my first time doing this. I've known Parish since 1999. I understand he made some mistakes. From what I was hearing, I think he's learned his lesson. He could help in the community with all the stuff that's going on now in New Orleans. He could talk to the youth, specifically the male. They need some guidance down here, and I think he would be a perfect role model. He needs to be working and setting in one mindset to keep himself busy. I don't really know what else to say.
Well, thank you. Thank you for your comment. Thank you so much.
You're
We'll hear from Ms. Warren Smoot.
Yes, how's it going?
Good, make a brief statement.
I just wanted to start off by saying that I've been knowing Parish for a while, since I was about 19. I'm 26 now. Well, actually 17, I'm sorry. But I never referred to him as Parish. I always gave him the respect and called him Uncle Parish. But he showed me a lot in the time that I've known him. He's always been tough on me to, do something that my family can benefit from in the long run. He's always been on me about, doing my business right. And I own a automotive detailing company. We have 3 locations. We have mobile units as well. And we have we've had conversations about if he was to be released, that I would take him on and we can do work, put him on the road, because there's trucks that I need to have on the road that I need a CDL licensed driver to drive to operate. But just to, make sure that everything is how it should be, and I'll make sure that I can do my part to repay him. I almost feel that my business success is due to him because, like I said, he was on me about buying property at a young age and, doing my business correctly. So my success, I feel that I owe it to him. So I'll do anything in my power to make sure that he goes the route that he needs to go, in any way that I can help to make sure that he's on that path. I'll do my best. I'll do my best, and I'll give him that.
All right, thank you so much for your comment.
All right,
Now, Mr. Lynn and Mr. Kelso,
Yes, sir.
if you'd like to
Stay here.
you can stand, you can stand up there, the podium, and you can translate. You can go up there as well.
My name is Iquan Wilson. I have been doing import and wholesale in Houston, Texas since 1985. And I have done a lot of business with people in Louisiana. And the day after I done business with Bob, he owned the business in Ponchatura. The business name is Turquoise Coyote. That night I come back from Ponchatura back to Baton Rouge, stay in the High Place Hotel nearby the Mall of Louisiana, and my van is full loaded with stone beads worth about $250,000. And the next day morning, when I woke up, I noticed I found my van and everything inside the van was gone. So I had the hotel call for the police, and the police told me that before the day break, there's a van came into apartment complex and steal 2 motorcycles using the white van, and that van must be mine. Because it happened just in the, between midnight and daybreak. So I have experienced huge losses, $250,000 worth of stone beads. I tried to bring some of my sample, but I was rejected because I could not bring anything with me. And so evidently, the beads and jewelry was stopped, which is worth much more money than 2 motorcycles. So that's happened in 2014. That's almost 1 year ago, and I experienced severe losses, and I very hard to recover, but it's hard. And so I want to ask Parish Norris, where did he dump the stone piece to before he used a cargo speed to steal motorcycle.
Yeah, you're speaking to us directly. You're not speaking to him.
Yeah, so
Okay, all right.
I need to know where he
Right.
dumped because those are much more valuable than motorcycle. I know
Right.
he still his stole vehicle and also mainly motorcycles so that he can get
Right.
money.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you for your comment. Do you have a comment, Mr. Kelso?
Yes, I do.
Okay, yeah, you can make a brief statement.
Thank you. He's not vindictive, angry. He just wants to, if, citizen can remember where he left the, gemstones. It's a huge amount. Where did he walk off? And perhaps we could go,
All right, thank you. Thank you so much. All right, Mr. Norris, would you like to make a statement on your behalf?
Yes, sir. I'm very, very sorry. Remorse deep down in my heart. You know, if I can make it back to you, make it up to you, I give you my best for doing things I did to hurt the one out there I was working hard for what they was working for. My heart, I never thought it would, affect people like that, but it seemed like I did. And I hurt too many people. Too many, not only myself, everybody around me. I just, it's in my heart, deep down, sorry.
All right. All right, thank you for your comment. Panel prepared to vote? Yes. Mayor Bella?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Norris, you've taken some pretty good courses, thinking for a change, you've taken victim awareness. I keep going back to your initial comments and then kind of as you changed a little bit, talked a little bit. I just don't think you really understand and accept the real harm that you caused to all of these victims. It concerns me that all of your crimes basically have dealt with what you're in prison for now. And that's where you're going back to work. I'm very concerned about that. I might be less concerned about that if I really thought you were sincere about never doing something like this again. I don't know that you really acknowledge what harm you've caused and what your crimes have done to all the people around you. Judge Jackson pointed out that, you deceived your mother for the longest time. I think maybe you're coming around. I think maybe things are beginning to sink in. I'm just not ready to make that leap just based upon your criminal history, your opposition, the damage that your crimes have caused. I think you need a little more. My vote today would be to deny and encourage you to really look inwardly to acknowledge what you really have done to these people. And don't blame other people, accept responsibility for what you've done. That's my vote, Mr. Chairman.
All right, Ms. Jackson.
Mr. Norris, when I went over your file yesterday, I wrote undecided. I had not made a decision one or the other. I always like to hear from the person I'm considering. And you kind of didn't give me any reason to to vote in your favor today. You've taken some programs, but most of those programs were during previous stints of incarceration. The most recent programs were in 21 and 22 at K. Ray and Malachi Dads, but everything else had been several years ago. And again, I don't feel like you've done enough at this point for me to feel comfortable that you're already get out, given the fact that over the course of your life, you continue to yourself in this kind of conduct. And I don't think you have any real appreciation of when you skip. I just don't think you do. So I think you have some work to do. And so my vote today would be to deny.
We have 2 votes to deny. I'm also going to deny your parole today for the same reasons as stated. 3 votes to deny. Today, your parole's been denied. Good luck to you.
Wow. There was so much what I thought was like, you call it irony? I'm not quite sure in this hearing. It would be funny if it wasn't so sad. Here's the first time we're seeing this warden. This is normally the prison of our favorite warden, and we have first time we're meeting her. So let's just unpack this. I'm happy Mr. Mirabella brought it up because I have it in my notes that I was going to bring it up. I was saying, are you kidding me? We have Brian Parker, who owns a motorcycle repair shop, coming on behalf of his friends to say he used to work with me and I'll bring him back. And we're talking about someone who's in prison for running a chop shop. It's like, are you kidding me? You think we're all stupid? Chop shop and motorcycle repair shop. And in the hearing, one of the poor victims brings up, he said that they had stolen his truck to commit the robbery of the two bikes. I wonder where those bikes were chopped up and sold to. Not making allegations, but I just, you just kind of wonder. And do you really think that we're all just a bunch of idiots? If you hear the birds chirping, it's because I'm still on the camping trip. I'm taking a break to do these. I was so excited to see Miss Jackson back. I had to get this out for you guys. And don't worry. I'm spending plenty of time with my beautiful family here. This is the me time. I do a lot of these. It's, like more than 3, close to 400 now. And of uploading these hearings. And I do it because I love doing it. And I love, so it's not a job for me. It's something I love doing. It's instead of watching something else on YouTube or, for my alone personal time or playing, Candy Crush. No, I do this and share it with you. And love to the comments and the chat on our premieres. And anyways, so I digress. It's so good to have Miss Jackson back. I can't say it more. It's you go through the questioning and then Miss Jackson comes in and she just asks the most incredible questions. And man, you don't know it. What's the saying? You don't know what you've had until it's gone. And Miss Jackson has been gone for a while. And I just really wanted to see her. And, seeing her in action, it made me realize why we miss her so much. But she first went in right there with the real, she's saying, we were concerned, but your mother, why does your mother think you're innocent? You misled your mom for 7 years. Do you understand how cruel it is to have your mom thinking that her innocent son is in jail? He didn't get it. He doesn't get it. Chop shop, people who do and Miss Jackson described the just some of the pain that she described it such empathetic form of what his, you know, it's not insurance companies. You're talking. She gave the example of one of her victims who needed the car to go to work. They didn't have enough money, so they had finance payments on it. They didn't have full coverage insurance, so they didn't have theft insurance. When the car's gone, it's gone. They're not getting a check from the insurance company. They can't get to work. They can't go to the grocery store. They can't do. Their lives are flipped upside down. They don't have the money to go get a new car, and they're still making payments on the old one. Then she gives the example of the veteran. The veteran, disabled veteran, goes in to get a treatment, comes out, and his car's gone. And the point was of that story is that it had disabled veteran plates and stickers. He didn't care. And to top it all off, look at it. He has his head in his hand while the victims are speaking. He has his head in his hand like a child. At his own parole hearing, can you even imagine? Just the maturity, lack thereof, it's unbelievable. I still can't get over Mr. Parker saying he'll come back and work for me. And then we have this other guy here who thinks that this is a marketing opportunity. He's got mirror image and detailing and auto aircraft. Are you kidding me? We don't, you got that up. Like it doesn't take so much common sense to know that maybe I should change my background. No. I'm gonna instead have this marketing opportunity. I'm too lazy to change my background, or you actually think this is great for everyone on YouTube to see it. Shame on you if you're watching this. It is mind-blowing. Motorcycle repair shop and I do take this personally. I bought when I was I might have still been 19, a teenager, 19 years old. It was a Kawasaki Ninja 600. Now, I moved on to Gixxers, and then I had an R1. So, this was the only Kawasaki that 600 that it was, but still it was used and it was repainted and it looked cool. And I went and bought it, and I put it in my driveway that day. I don't know why. I had a garage. I was still living at home with my family. I didn't put it in the garage. I was so excited to have this new bike. I mean, it was my first bike outside of a dirt bike. And it was stolen out of my driveway that very night. And I didn't have theft insurance. And I think it was the people that sold it to me. They followed me home and they knew, and they took it. And now I think everything in this situation, I think, I probably would have hurt myself or killed myself. It was a used bike and it had problems, and it was a Ninja. But I remember the feeling. You feel violated, you feel angry, you feel, just completely. It was a lot of money for me. I was a teenager. It's a horrible feeling you don't just get over. And for me, it was just a toy. Imagine if it's your livelihood. And we heard the victim come on. The other victim who was talking about, he just wants his vehicle back, or the tools on the vehicle. He just wants it back. He's like, all he cared about was just tell me what you did with it. I'm sorry to tell you, man, it's been chopped up a long time ago. It's sold in pieces and parts. But yeah, no, this guy's clueless. He really doesn't get it. He showed no empathy. Even when given the opportunity to show empathy, basically Miss Jackson, saying, everyone's talking to him, and you have a chance to say something, and he said he has his head in his hand, and he says nothing. I don't feel bad for this guy at all. And really, again, Miss Jackson painted just a really vivid picture of how much trauma auto theft causes. And he's not stealing brand new cars that are required by law to have full coverage insurance. He's stealing anything he can steal. And he's a pro, and he knows what to steal and what he can get away with. And shame on you for doing that, man. I still can't get over Parker. He can come back and work with me. I have a motorcycle repair shop. And that, like, moments later, the victim comes on saying they stole my truck to steal those 2 motorcycles. And then it was Parker signed off like that moment. I wasn't sure if he'd come back on. He did. But just to have that like unawareness it's just bizarre. And but I'm glad Mr. Marabella caught that and was like, I'm concerned about your plan where you're gonna go work. It's the same place that you were working when you got caught up in this. Anyways, love to hear your thoughts on this. Maybe I'm being too tough, or maybe share experiences of what happened with you and your auto theft. I've had 2 cars broken into. I lived in the city at one point, and I had a car broken into. They stole everything inside, and when the cops came to write the police report, they never even got out of their cruiser, and the damage was on the driver's side, and the passenger side was facing the cop cruiser, so they never even visually saw where the damage was because you couldn't see it unless you'd gone. They never even got out of their car in New York City. I kid you not. They wrote the report sitting in their car. They never even verified that there was a break-in. They just took my word for it. Pretty nuts. It's not fun. It is not fun. So yeah, maybe you can share your story, get that off your chest. But with that, I'll let you go.